I'm going to say something very logical to you people at home. And if you're stupid, you're not going to understand it. But if you're smart, it's not that difficult a concept. There is no light without dark. 5,000 years ago, the Chinese drew yin and yang for a reason. They are linked. They go together. There is no such thing as a successful person without a failure. Without the failures, there's no success. You need both. For there to be winners, there has to be losers. Therefore, if God is going to give you the chance to become a successful person, He has to make it difficult. He has to lay out a gauntlet, because within that gauntlet, some people will quit and they can go become losers, which allow the people who do not quit to be winners.
Everyone can take the highs. Everyone can handle the highs. Handling the lows is the skill of it. And that's something I'm good at. You become stoic by having such a life, highs and lows, that your feelings just kind of turn off after a while. That's how you become stoic. All that reading, all that, I'm going to be stoic, I'm a alpha, it's not real. James Bond is stoic because they've shot at him so many times, he's just getting used to it.
You know, I wasn't even rich till I was 27. And I think back and I thank God I wasn't rich when I was young. Because if I got rich before 27, I wouldn't be strong like I am now, and that's worth more than being rich. And I wouldn't be able to fight like I can now, and that's worth more than being rich. And I wouldn't have the lessons, and that's worth more than being rich. I like all the lessons I had when I was poor. That's why I'm top G, because I have the poor man's lessons and the rich man's money. So if God's decided you need some more of the poor man's lessons, then that is a blessing. You just have to be prepared to do the right things to learn them.
I think when you accept that suffering is part of life, you get good at suffering and then you get good at things. If you're going to go through the world trying to make the world sufferless and yourself not have suffering, well then you're going to suffer more than anything. How successful you are in life is directly correlated to your stress tolerance. In fact, it's more correlated to your stress tolerance than anything else. Forget IQ, forget most nearly anything. If you're the guy who can deal with more stress than anyone else, you're going to end up in the position where you're dealing with more stress than anyone else. And those positions, one way or another, pay you. Because no one else will do it. That's the only way you can even separate yourself from the labor market in general, right? I can put myself in a position to do what others won't do. You have to put yourself in a position where you got to put yourself in a very stressful place. And that's the same with everything. It's the same with every fighting champion. They take the shot. I want the belt now on 2 days' notice. I'll take it. That's how I won my first world title, 2 days' notice. So why do they become champion? Because they were the guy ready to fight for a championship without a training camp. They're that guy.
The reason you lose is because you've been programmed to lose by all of your experiences throughout life. Winners are programmed, losers are programmed. I was programmed to be a winner in any scenario because I was raised in a very specific way. You were not. You lack the balls it takes in many scenarios to get rich or die trying. That's the truth. So you lack motivation and you've been taught all of the wrong things and you're most likely to get in debt. By the time you work all of this shit out, it's too late. You're already in debt. You're in your mid-20s. You're starting to try and unlearn all the garbage you have learned. And now you're trying to develop motivation from somewhere because you don't understand why people at the bottom seem to have endless amounts and people at the top who are loyal to their last name seem to have endless amounts, but you in the middle don't have any of it at all. So what would you do if you're in each of these scenarios? Of course, by analyzing the board, the smartest thing you can do is to try and take your strengths and play them off against your weaknesses. So if you're poor and you have a lot of hunger and motivation, your primary objective should be, 1, to learn about how money really works, and 2, to get around rich people and network. You have hunger and motivation. What you have to do is fix the things you don't have. You need to get around rich people. You need to get a good network of people you can trust who have a lot of money. Not only do you lack fire, you lack imagination. Because when you're poor, let me tell you something poor people do all the time. You imagine. My brother and I used to sit around and talk about what could be if only we managed to get it out. How it would feel to have this car, how it would feel to be in this place, how it would feel to be famous and internationally renowned, how it would feel to go to Saint-Tropez and live on a yacht, how it would feel to be able to fly on private planes, how it would feel to not have to worry about food anymore. My brother and I used to imagine for hours. We used to talk about it. We believed in this version of reality where we somehow made it. But if you're in the middle, you don't do that. You don't want it enough to talk about it and imagine over the temporary dopamine and entertainment you can achieve from the fucking PlayStation your mother bought you because your parents have enough money for PlayStations. We didn't have one. We couldn't get one. We couldn't afford it. I'd like to be rich, but Netflix is on and the TV's on and mom's just brought me a Capri Sun. I'm not cold. Everything's fine. So you don't sit and imagine deep in your soul. Not only do you lack fire, not only do you lack motivation, you lack imagination. And that's why it's very important. You need to start believing you are the fucking man, even if you're not yet. Before I was world champion, I knew I was going to be world champion. You have to believe these things.
It's easy to win at anything if you're good at other things. If you pull up to work, you're in shape, you're on time, you speak well, you're dedicated, you're in first, you're out last, and you're prepared to knuckle down, you're going to win if you just turn up looking good, confident, well-spoken, built well. All of that happens in the gym and practice at home. That doesn't happen in business. And this applies to anything in life. You have to amplify your strength, amplify what you're good at.
When you were born here and it was cold outside and you said, Mom, it's cold, can we put the heating on? She'd say, do you have any money? We were taught, if you want something, get money. Mom, I'm hungry. You got any money? No. Well, then you're hungry. You never had that problem. You think your dream life's going to just appear on your doorstep because food just appeared in your fridge and the heating just turned on. It was given to you by your parents and they have neutered you. They've taken away your spirit of resistance, your spirit to conquest and fight back. That's why people at the bottom, we understand that nothing is going to come to us unless we go out there and get it ourselves.
I ask a lot of people what they're doing. They say, locking in, bro. And their version of locking in is just dumb shit. Watching podcasts, rage posting on Twitter for hope. Locking in to do absolutely unproductive things because the only thing that's productive is earning money. Start working all day, every day. That's the only path. It's difficult. My sons don't scroll YouTube aimlessly. My sons don't go to school and be programmed with garbage. My sons spend 12 hours a day every day preparing for their future life, which is going to be similar to mine. Nothing but heartache and stress and war.
Your future is the result of your daily actions. You're defined by what you do today. Lazy now, loser later, get to work. How many of you at home have actively tried to network today? When have you sat and imagined your dream life? When have you self-analyzed and self-reflected and tried to work out where you've gone wrong to end up such a mediocre specimen of man? Why can't you go down to the dealer and buy a brand new Lamborghini right now? Why not? Is it a lack of money? Is it a lack of, what is it? Is it only money? Are you afraid if you buy one you'll get robbed? What is stopping you? Have you even thought about any of these things? Has it even crossed your mind? It's extremely important, gentlemen, that you understand the chessboard and understand exactly where you are so you can make changes. Most of you are not actively building a future. You're not actively trying to build the dream life that you want to have.
Oh, I don't have motivation. I don't want to hear anyone complain about how life is hard as a man ever again. Because I know, I just don't care. The solution to it is to become exceptional and capable in all realms. That's the solution I offer to you. I don't try and change the world and make women care about men, because they don't. I don't try and make society care about men, because they never will. All I can do is say, if you become brilliant, then people will care about you, not because you're a man, but because of who you are as an individual. Women are cared about by default, by blanket, because they are female. Men are only cared about if they become exceptional as an individual. Blanket men are not of interest to the Matrix. Nobody cares about men when we die. Nobody cares. Exceptionalism is the only way out. And if you understand that and still can't get motivated to do the bare minimum, well, then you deserve eternal serfdom as a slave and a peon and a peasant below me, being overtaken by my Ferrari.
It's going to work out. In the end, I'm going to win. I may not understand the path there. It may get tricky at some points, but in this simulation, in the end, I win the game. Even if it looks like I lost, in the end, I still win. So if you approach life that way, it gives you a degree of confidence that allows you to take the brave choice. And whatever it takes for me to get there, it doesn't actually really matter that much.
Andrew, how do I not feel guilty for superiority? When I beat losers, they play victim and pull me down. So how do I win, extend the gap even more at my opposition's expense without feeling bad? Well, Let me answer that question. If you were truly better than them, you wouldn't feel bad. The fact you even feel bad about it has me a bit dubious. If you're truly crushing all opposition and you're that guy, you're not going to be sitting around worried about it. And the reason I know that is because I am that guy. The universe is extremely giving and it gives you exactly what you deserve. It will give you the woman you deserve. It will give you the money you deserve. The universe will give you the luck you deserve. If you end up being extremely lucky, you have earned that luck. I've described before rain dancing. When you want it to rain, you must do a rain dance, even if it does not cause clouds to form. You'll be more lucky if you rain dance than if you just sit and pray and hope that somehow the rain's gonna. So if you truly are that guy, then you deserve all you have, and you're not gonna be feeling sorry for these.